because otherwise it's overwhelming. So, but with her, um,
Well,
go
let's
ahead.
see what this guy has to say.
Okay.
Chris and Serena, it may be several more days before we get new details about Heidi Planck's case. In the meantime, this investigation is focused about 40 miles from her home. About 24 investigators with rakes sifted through piles of trash as cadaver dogs worked their way through a landfill in Castaic, where the LAPD served a search warrant in the disappearance case of Heidi Planck, the large investigation being run from a command post at the property. This is the latest development in the case of the 39-year-old who was reported missing on October 20th by her ex-husband, Jim Wayne.
It's really difficult, guys, because we all cared for Heidi a lot.
Before she disappeared, Planck was seen on security camera leaving her home in the Palms neighborhood of West LA. Hours later, another camera captured her with her dog outside an apartment complex in downtown LA. Her dog was later found inside the building, and for days, friends held vigils and passed out flyers looking for information.
Heidi's friends have been front and center and very, very helpful.
LAPD has been phenomenal, and I want to thank them, all law enforcement.
Planck's Range Rover was found in an underground garage several blocks from the apartment about a week after her disappearance. The LAPD says forensic evidence was found inside the complex, which led detectives to believe she's dead.
I'm fully confident that they will figure this out.
Back at the landfill, the LAPD says it is focused on a specific area, but Jim Wayne says this case isn't closed yet. There are plenty of unanswered questions in the case of the single mom who leaves behind a son that she adored.
Our 11-year-old boy needs to know what has happened to his mom. And that's why I'm making appeal to say we need some help.
So I didn't see a part where they said that her DNA was found in the apartment.
Yeah, it did. They said forensic DNA was found in the parking garage.
Oh, the parking garage. Okay.
Yeah. That's not what it said on the headlines of what I had pulled up before I called back.
So then why do they think that she's in that landfill? They think they put her in the dumpster and then the dumpster took her to the landfill?
It could be.
Oh my golly.
Could have even killed her. You saw about the college girl who smoked pot for the first time, and evidently it was laced with something, and they have her on CCTV. She started going crazy, running up and down the hall, opened the door to the garbage room and jumped down the chute and went down 11 stories and killed herself. Somebody could have thrown her down. I don't know. But yeah, that was just breaking. So, people can type in her name and, choose which one they want to watch or whatever. But
it's heartbreaking.
I hadn't even been following her that much because I was just sure that she was fine somewhere. I
kind of thought she was, but
yeah, we kept waiting for her to show up at court, for custody and that kind of stuff. And I
got another story. Let's see if this one says the same thing or something a little bit different.
Okay.
11-year-old boy needs some answers. The family needs some answers. The friends need answers.
The ex-husband of missing woman Heidi Planck pleads with the public for help as the search for her now zeroes in on a landfill and a grim new hunt for clues.
Good evening. Welcome to Fox 7 News at 5. I'm Alex Michaels.
And I'm Christine Devine. We thank you for being with us on this Monday. Authorities today searching that landfill north of LA, hoping to find any clues to the disappearance of Heidi Planck.
The 39-year-old vanished more than a month ago. She is now presumed dead. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez live in Castaic with the latest on the developing story tonight. Christina.
Yes, we are at Chiquita Landfill, which is a huge landfill. Let me give you a sense, because we're talking about over 600 acres, okay? And they take in disposal from municipalities all over, including Los Angeles, even downtown. But keep in mind, they also take stuff from private entities. So a big truck with construction stuff or yard debris could also come in here to dump something. Now, they admit they're concentrating on a small, targeted area, and yes, they're fully prepared to find human remains. Watch.
It's really difficult, guys.
An emotional Jim Wayne talks about his ex-wife, Heidi Planck, as investigators comb through Acton's Chiquita Canyon landfill, looking for what could be the remains of the 39-year-old mother missing for over a month now. From Skyfox, you can see a multi-agency task force that includes sheriff search dogs and LA County coroner personnel.
Are serving a search warrant here at the landfill, manually searching for human remains and to collect any additional evidence.
An 11-year-old boy needs some answers.
Jim Wayne says that on October 17th, Planck left her son's football game early looking upset, later texting him, though, to congratulate him. Surveillance video at Planck's home showed her and her dog getting in her vehicle. More surveillance from downtown LA alley, where she's walking the dog later that night. The same dog, even later, found on the upper floor of a residential building off Hope Street, where her vehicle had been left parked. Where a vigil in her memory keeps growing as friends and family hope for a miracle, even with LAPD confirming that
Forensic evidence was located inside the building, which has led detectives to believe an incident occurred resulting in Planck's death.
And they know for sure there's anywhere between 1 and 4 or 5 people that will know exactly what's happened. And we need them to come forward.
Well, developing story tonight, Heidi Planck forensic DNA was found in the parking garage, and now it's leading this police department, the LAPD, to search a specific area of the landfill for the human remains. Police say that there's no lead on a suspect, but you heard it there. Her ex-husband, Jim Wayne, saying that absolutely there are 3, 4, possibly 5 people who know information that would lead to Heidi's story, and he's pleaded in tears that somebody that knew something would say something so that their son, who's 10, 11 years old, will be able to find the truth. Diane, what's your thoughts?
I think it's really sad, especially for the child, to hear that his mother's being searched for in a garbage. You know, it's one thing if you die from an illness, but to know that your mother's possibly in the trash, that someone thought that little of her. I do know from, because I told you, I love all these crime shows, and I watch so many of them. In the landfills, the drivers are assigned a certain area. So if I were to lose, say, I'm too fat to wear my wedding ring. But if I were to lose my wedding ring, then I could go to, the city dump and say, I live at, this street in Villarica, and they would say, okay, he dumps right over here. So you could dig through that. That's how people find things all the time. And you think, how in the world in 600, whatever it was, 600 square miles, was it, or yards? I don't know what it was now. I remember 600. But, they know where they're looking, but she might be in tiny pieces, or they may find her whole body. So, but it completely shocked me. I saw it flashing up there for probably an hour and a half and didn't think it was anything important. And then when I looked, I thought, wow.
It pieces together the situation with the dog, obviously.
Right. Well, Avery thought that a person who had been a dog walker lived there. But when they interviewed everyone in the building and all of her friends said no. And then people in the building said they had never heard of her. So either someone in the building was lying and her friends didn't know. But the tricky thing is, he just said that she texted her son to congratulate him on the football game. She left her phone at home. So she had a second phone.
Well, That's a great question that I don't know the answer to, but quite possibly.
Well, she had to, because she can't text without a something.
It's quite possible. Forensic evidence was located in the building, and they actually think that because of the forensic
What they
evidence
found.
and where they found they found it, that it's leading them to search what's called the Chiquita Canyon Landfill, which is 40 miles northwest of the downtown location. So,
I mean, it could have been it could have been she was shot in the head and there's a small amount of her brain, but I'm guessing that whatever it is, they're able to determine it by DNA. And then they said something about they started questioning it weeks ago. We heard nothing for weeks.
yeah.
And she just went off the radar. And they were already doing a lot of behind the scenes. But, we always think they had to tell us immediately. But like somebody said earlier there, maybe it was Jennifer, who said that a lot of times they have to hold stuff back so they can get more information and possibly find out who did it. But I thought this was really...
Yeah, Jennifer said that on the interview with Brian Enton.
And this just shows, what we were talking about, how important it is for people to get involved and to try to piece stuff together. If Red, White, and Bethune hadn't turned in the video, Gabby might not have been found by now.
Right. Exactly. I say that all the time. Like, thank God for Red, White, and Bethune, because that helped close the loop on that case so much.
And where her body was, he had covered it originally with sticks. If he had left it unwrapped and with no sticks, she might have been eaten by animals and carried off all over the desert. And her parents may have never had closure.
Absolutely terrible, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, if people want to search more, there's so many videos, I didn't take time to look at any of them. I wanted to tell you before it went off the air. So,
well, Diane, thank you for beeping back in with your breaking news tonight.
Breaking news.